I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're exploring the incredible life of Marvin Kassim Sr., author of a powerful book. It is called Walking Through the Fire of Life. From the fiery ashes of despair, the phoenix emerges. It is indeed a powerful book that chronicles Marvin's journey through adversity, showing how perseverance, faith, and hard work can lead to success. His story is a true testament to overcoming hardships and realizing one's potential, inspiring anyone facing life's toughest challenges. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put him in the spotlight today, and we ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his amazing book. The links are below this interview. Marvin, great to see you here today on Spotlight.
Thank you very much, Logan. Great to see you too.
Your book is so inspiring. Everybody has challenges in this life. It's how we deal with them. It's how we overcome them. It's how we emerge from those ashes that define us as people. Can you tell us a crucial moment from your life where you felt like giving up, but you pushed through and prevailed?
Yes, I can tell you that I remember being in the steel mills, and it was dark, and it was a lot of dust in there. And I always wanted to go to college, but I never had that chance because I was in foster care and didn't have the ability to have the means to go to college. So one day, one of the steel workers were talking about how they got into the apprenticeship program in the steel mills by using their GI Bill. And so that inspired me to go and join the Air Force that week so that I can get the GI Bill so that I can go to college. So at that moment is where I said that to myself, I'm going to make sure that I uplift myself by myself so I can make something of myself.
As they say to recruit in the military, be all that you can be. And in many cases, it's true. I mean, you're empowered as a person because you're put through the mill physically, obviously, to become part of the armed services. You joined one of the most elite branches, the Air Force. Tell us how the Air Force played a role in your personal growth and your journey to success.
Yes, I remember when I joined the Air Force, and they had asked me what field I wanted to go into. And I said that I wanted to do something that I'd have to work with my hands, but work with my brain. And so they said, well, maybe you can probably go into a field called personnel or administration. And I went into personnel administration. And from there, I also went into the College of the Air Force to start doing college courses so that I can begin my college career. And so while going through the Air Force, it taught me self perseverance and leadership. As I started the Air Force and went to basic training, the first thing that the drill sergeant told me when he came up to me is says, I'm going to make you the dorm chief. And so that gave me my first leadership position in the Air Force. And that's what launched me into starting to develop myself and develop folks and develop people.
You mentioned that you grew up in foster care. Um, did the armed services kind of give you the structure, the discipline, and the family that you perhaps were lacking growing up?
Actually, the military didn't. It was actually my foster mom. My foster mom is who gave me the ability to be who I am, to make sure that nobody's better than me and I'm not better than anybody. She taught me the discipline to where I can be an adult and also be able to take care of myself. She taught me to make sure that I treat other people fairly, and that I do the best that I can do while I go out there in the world. So my foster mom was my inspiration for my growth.
Sounds like you were blessed with a wonderful foster mom who was very loving, very empowering, very insightful, and obviously did help you on your journey tremendously. In the book, you talk about setting the intention to be successful. Tell us a little bit about that.
Setting the intention to be successful, what I did was just told myself, that, I see other folks being successful and how they got there. They got there by getting help from mentors. They got there by getting help from family. I had none of that help. So I had to look inside myself and find the strength within myself to be able to motivate myself to do the things that I wanted to do. And so I just started my journey by just reaching out to the things that I wanted to do to be successful. And so after I got out the Air Force, I went on and went to use my GI Bill to go to college in Seattle, Washington, and also work full time so that I can also take care of myself and be able to start my success into the world.
Wonderful, wonderful. It's great you had that opportunity. The GI Bill is so empowering. My dad took advantage of the GI Bill as well. It really does open the doors to people. Our current vice presidential candidate, JD Vance, became a Yale trained lawyer through the GI Bill. So I think that is wonderful. What does the metaphor of the phoenix rising from the ashes mean to you personally?
What that means to me personally is from where I came from. Where I came from at the beginning, before I was in foster care, was homeless. I was homeless. I was in despair. My mother was just taking us from a house to house, and we had no food, didn't know where we was going to get the next meal. And I was doing that until I was in kindergarten, until I was sent to a foster home. And that was the despair. The despair was before I got into the foster home. And then once I got there and start understanding my life, understanding what I wanted to do in the future, and then when I got to my future, which was getting to my adulthood, getting to get to college and starting my career, that was the phoenix coming out of the flames and being able to start the journey. And so that's when I started my journey out of the flames of despair. Once I did that and started my journey out of despair with going into businesses, starting my own businesses and working with other entrepreneurs, I ran into an individual called Anthony Robbins, if you remember him. And Anthony Robbins introduced me to firewalking in 1991. And that was me coming out of the flames, is going into the flames. And once I went into the flames, I was coming out, and I was coming out as a new person with the energy and with the confidence that I can do whatever my mind told me that I wanted to do.
Tony Robbins is awesome. I recommend his book, Awaken the Giant, within several times a week. It's a thick book. A lot of it are like anecdotes and stories he's telling, but it really does motivate you to get out there and leverage for success. Are you going to be leveraged by positive emotions, negative emotions? It's a great theory. And your book complements that because obviously Tony helped you on your journey, but your journey is unique and carved out of stone, unlike other people's, because you had your own challenges, your own script to write. What do you feel the hardest lesson you learned in life throughout your journey?
The hardest lesson that I learned throughout my life is trying to not be hard on myself. That's the hardest lesson for me, is trying not to be hard on myself. I believe that I always been hard on myself because I want to succeed so much. And I've always been the person who would give myself to folks, to people. And so that is the hardest thing for me, was trying to, be who I am.
What advice would you give to people who are struggling right now, are in the position you were in when you were younger, where they wanted to advance their life, they didn't feel like they had the money, they don't feel like they have the opportunity? How would you tell them to go ahead and begin the journey of empowering themselves?
First, they read my book.
Yeah.
Okay, that'd be the first thing that they do. But for a person who wants to empower themselves, first they have to be true to themselves. And one of my sayings is be true to yourself and others will be true to you. You have to look within yourself to find out who you are, find your strengths within yourself. And then you go out and then you go and do what you need to do to make yourself successful. Um, every individual has their own way of doing that. Every individual have their own strengths. And sometimes individuals need to seek out other folks like mentors to help them to understand their strengths. And that was one of the things that I have done with the folks that I've coached in businesses is to help them understand their individuality, understand themselves, so they can know how to use the strength within themselves to be successful.
I agree 100%. Finding a mentor is key. And mentors are out there. They want to help people. They want to share their journey, particularly find a mentor who is older than you,
Yes.
who's been through the ropes. You know, don't look at somebody who might still be competitive with you, but somebody who's willing to help you understand the nature, the culture, the way things are done within an organization, and they will explain it to you and help you. And I've been empowered my whole life through mentors. Before we leave you today, just give the folks at home an overview of your book, what they'll find when they crack open the covers.
What you'll find when you crack over the covers is in the when you get through the first chapter, you will feel the emotions. You'll start feeling the emotions of my character, what I began to go through. And then once you go through that, if you can get through that chapter with the emotions, that's where the journey starts. And that's where it begins. And each chapter that you go through, you want to find out what's happening next. What did he go through next? What's the next part of the journey? And as you go through the whole book, you'll start understanding your own self and you'll understand your own journey that you've been going through. And hopefully, what I'm trying to do is to help you understand your future journey. Okay, what can I do based on where I've been? How can I change my life and move in another direction that be more positive and be successful?
Wonderful advice. And I do think looking at your journey will remind people of their own journeys and that there are options and that there's a solution for every problem, not a problem for every solution.
Yes.
And that's what we need to be focused on, problem
Yes.
solving. The name of the book is Walking Through the Fire of Life. From the fiery ashes of despair, the phoenix emerges. It is a powerful book that chronicles the author's journey through adversity, showing how perseverance, faith, and hard work can lead to success, both personally and professionally. It's a wonderful book. It is highly recommended. Marvin, thank you so much for joining me here today on Spotlight.
It was a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure's all mine, sir. Thank you for your service. And to the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time until next time on Spotlight.